Hello and welcome to Wonder Girl Tarot. This is your reading for the week of April 6th through the 12th. I hope you're all well and taking care of yourselves. I've shuffled the cards and drawn 3 cards. The first is going to represent Monday and Tuesday, the second Wednesday and Thursday, and the third Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But the cards may apply to energies that come and go throughout the week and not be restricted to those particular days. It's a general reading, so take what applies to you and what resonates and leave the rest for somebody else. Before we start the reading, I was reading some poems from a collection I have called Love Poems for Women. Love Poems by Women. This beautiful book, which kind of goes with our color scheme, and I thought I'd read one to share with you. This is by Maxime Kumin, and it's called After Love. Afterwards, the compromise. Bodies resume their boundaries. These legs, for instance, mine. Your arms take you back in. Spoons of our fingers. Lips admit their ownership. The bedding yawns. A door blows aimlessly ajar. And overhead, a plane sing-songs down. Nothing is changed, except there was a moment when the wolf, the mongering wolf who stands outside the self, lay lightly down and slept. It's really beautiful, isn't it? Anyways, Maxime Kumin, somebody I've never heard of, but I'm discovering all sorts of authors I didn't know before in this book. Anyways, let's turn over the cards and see what we've got. So for Monday and Tuesday, the Magician. Wednesday and Thursday, the Ten of Pentacles. And Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the Hermit. Okay, we'll check the bottom of the deck for underlying energy. We've got, sorry, I knocked the camera. The Devil, and the Wheel of Fortune poking out. Okay. So, it seems like I like to think of the bottom of the deck as a kind of underlying energy. So the forces that are underneath this week may be a feeling of restriction or fear. There may be some kind of addiction in your life or a bad habit, or maybe it's just worries about the current world situation or a lack of money or some other kind of feeling of personal limitation, which is really interesting, juxtaposed with the Magician, which is the card for Monday and Tuesday. So the Magician has to do with creating the life and the things that you want. So I think you're going to begin the week feeling very empowered and like you're able to kind of manifest the reality that you want. So the Magician is often references things like the law of attraction or people doing magic of some kind having an impact on your world. The first card in the major arcana is the Fool, the 0 card. So that's a young person with a knapsack who's about to leap off a cliff and go on an adventure. But the Magician is the card that follows the Fool. So the Fool in the Magician key has learned how to affect the world around him. So he's gone from being somebody who participates in an adventure to somebody who shapes his world. So you're going to be feeling as though you can shape your world, which if your underlying feeling is the Devil, that would be the feeling that you are enchained, that you can't shape or affect your circumstances, or change your own behavior or create the life that you want. So you're kind of rising out of that soil of limitation into a sense of empowerment. And I think the phrase that people often use for the magician is as above, so below. So he's holding up his wand and he's saying, he's speaking something into being. He's creating it. So really positive start to the week, very dynamic. And you can see this yellow background. Yellow in tarot is always very optimistic. It's a sign of expansiveness, the opposite of limitation. And you can see these roses and lilies at his feet. And above him. It's very fertile, and it just makes me think of springtime. I'm also noticing the infinity symbol above his head. So perhaps this is in reference to themes that repeat continually throughout your life. It could be something that certain feelings that come back to you every springtime, for example, or perhaps every time when you have some kind of money worry, or some circumstance plays out once again and those same feelings return to you. And perhaps this time you're getting, there's a window out of that cycle. So really great. And here we see in the middle of the week the 10 of Pentacles. So I'm thinking this has something to do with your material world and money, because Pentacles do represent our material world. It's the 10 of Pentacles is the height of the Pentacle suit, so like 10 is completion, and it's the card about families and generations. You can see there's this old man in the card and some dogs, and then there's younger people in the background. So it's kind of like a grandfather who's worked all his days and has achieved security and stability and a happy family and is able to provide and now rest. So it's a card that talks about having a lot of material comfort and stability. And it's also a card that talks about generations and the things that you receive from your family going down the generations, which makes sense if we're looking at cycles and things like that. So yeah, I'm thinking that perhaps the devil could reference a feeling of limitation when it comes to creating financial stability in your life, or it could have something to do with limitations concerning relationships and having a family yourself. Maybe you feel like you're not cut out for that, or it could never happen for you, or you don't have the strength of character to provide a stable family situation. Or maybe when you were growing up there was no stability, or other people weren't able to provide that stability. This could be also things like, it can refer to health, so health limitations. But I think that the middle of the week sees you beginning to perhaps take steps to create this in your life, or at least maybe to begin to believe that it's possible or to want it. The magician also has to do with desires. So like somebody who creates something is somebody who believes, who has a wish. So he has a vision of what could be created. So perhaps out of limitations, you're beginning to dream something into existence, and that dream begins to kind of get legs or take on a more sturdy form in the middle of the week. And the things that have been going on in the world with the virus, I think that a lot of people are beginning to reevaluate what they really want in life. So that may be the case for you as well. The end of the week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we have the Hermit card, which is absolutely in keeping with this. The Hermit is somebody who goes off by himself, and he takes a light with him, and he goes off to meditate on what, he goes on what he wants to learn about himself. It's like that thing, that the phrase they have, I think it's at the Temple of Delphi, know thyself. So the Hermit is somebody who goes off to learn about himself, and I think through himself learns about other people in the world. But it's somebody who gains enlightenment. Like he has I don't mean enlightenment in the sense of like becoming enlightened like the Buddha or something, but I just mean before he goes off into the dark and the darkness of himself and spends time in solitude, and he brings the light of his own intelligence and spirit, and he gains insight through that withdrawal. So perhaps over the course of the weekend, you'll be spending more time alone, or you'll just have a sense of needing to withdraw into yourself a bit, even if you are surrounded by other people. Like the Ten of Pentacles is a card of being with others and being with family. But, in spirit, you may be withdrawing more into yourself and trying to come to some kind of clarity about what it is that you want, what it is that you want to create. And if the Devil, it's a pretty sinister looking card, but really it has to do with, here, I'll show it to you. So we have these two people that are chained to the Devil, chained to each other. This can be like codependent relationships too. Yeah, codependent romantic relationships, you can see there's a couple, but also other people and circumstances that we're chained to. It can be family patterns, like I said, addictions and stuff like that. But it's primarily an illusion, that the chains are an illusion. So perhaps this is something that's always been with you, and you're beginning to realize the falseness of these chains, that you're really like, I can't remember which fairy tale it is, but there's one where there's a woman who's transformed into a bird, and it's like a punishment of some sort, and she's put in a cage, and she spends her whole life in this cage, but the door is open and she could fly out, and it's only her mind that makes her think that she's trapped. And so perhaps this week is one where you come face to face with the cage that your mind has created, and you begin to realize that you're free. But with freedom comes some sort of choices, and some sort of understanding is needed. Some kind of wisdom is needed in order to know what you'll do with that freedom. And yeah, so that's what I'm seeing. I'm not sure why I was inspired to read that poem, but I love poetry, so I hope you enjoyed it. Possibly this decision that you want to consider has something to do with loving and who you love, or with solitude and togetherness, but you'll know if it fits in or not. And I hope you're well. Take care, and if you enjoyed this video, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. I'm really hoping to grow this channel, and it would be great if I got 100 subscribers to begin with. So yeah, if you want to, that would really delight me. Also leave me a comment. I love to read your comments. And thank you so much once again for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.